Well, this is nice.
It is very nice.
Another year of creepy cinema with Mario Cantone.
Another year. I live for this. I've been waiting to be invited to your mid-century apartment once again with the cold, cold fire and the cold man that I need love and approval from so much.
Cold man.
Devastating.
5 nights of programming that you and I will have here in October, all leading up to our big finale on Halloween.
That's right, of course.
Yeah.
This is my usual thing that we've done every year, this particular night, which is?
We're beginning with Hitchcock. Always a great place to start.
Always, yes.
An underappreciated Hitchcock movie. Overall, I think the classic movie world knows how great Shadow of a Doubt from 1943 is.
In earlier interviews, he said it was his favorite movie. And it's considered his first masterpiece. And it's just so simple, but the performances are great. I love the way it looks. I love this movie. It is kind of unsung. It's kind of forgotten.
Set in a small town in California, Santa Rosa.
Santa Rosa!
Real small town in California. It's about
I spend a lot of time in Healdsburg and Santa Rosa. I go up there a lot, so I know the area. But a lot of the locations you'll see on this were ruined by earthquakes, so they've been rebuilt.
It's about 80 miles north of San Francisco, a little bit inland. It's in wine country.
It is in wine country. It's in the Sonoma County.
First of all, Hitchcock does something here that I've always, since I became cognizant of how movies are put together, that I wish would happen more, which is giving 2 characters the same name. Right?
I know. It's very interesting that he did Uncle Charlie and then his niece Charlie.
Right. The niece is Teresa Wright, and she idolizes her uncle.
Loves him, and Joseph Cotten is the uncle.
But I mean, throughout the movie, people say Charlie, and you have to sort of figure out who they're talking to. And I don't know, I love that.
I think the way it's written, screenplay mostly by Thornton Wilder.
Yeah, who gets this crazy credit.
Yeah, he gets it because
before Hitchcock. He
was like, the American Shakespeare of its time. He had Our Town. I mean, he was a brilliant playwright. And
he understood small town America, which is why Hitchcock wanted him specifically for this. Which is putting a degree of menace in the Joseph Cotten Charlie, Uncle Charlie, which you'll see right in the beginning of the film. In this idyllic American small town.
That's very true. It is a small town movie, and he did write about small towns. I didn't even think of that, Ben.
Yeah, it's terrific. My favorite line in the movie, and I'm very eager for your reaction.
Is what?
They're sitting down for dinner, and Uncle Charlie, Joseph Cotten, suggests that the family have wine with dinner, and Patricia Collins, the wonderful mother, she says, "Oh, wine with dinner. It's so gay." And I thought, I can't believe I get to do this with Mario Cantone.
Well, because, the word gay. I'm so offended, Ben. I'm going up those mid-century stairs and I'm not coming back. But yeah, it's a very interesting film. I like it a lot, and I think it needs to be seen more.
Yeah, so I just feel like Uncle Charlie just needed, well, this is true of almost every villain in every movie, just be quiet. Stop cutting things out of papers. Stop trying to kill your niece. Just leave it be.
And he admitted it to her a little too soon because then they supposedly caught the guy, which they didn't because it was him, and she already knew the jig was up.
Yeah, that's right.
And the turn that Teresa Wright does as an actress from loving him and worshiping him so much to that thing where it could have been anything. It could have been anything. It could have been abuse. It could have been anything. But he's this killer, and she just, I love and she at first is praying that it's not true, and she's trying to doubt it. Shadow of a doubt. But she knows it's true. She's wonderful in this.
She was smart. She can play smart. She's terrific. And she's the key to the movie. Right in the beginning, we get her disillusioned with this lovely life she has. She wants drama. She wants excitement. And then Uncle Charlie's coming at that nice moment where they acknowledge the absurdity of her wanting to write him to come. And then it turns out he's already coming.
He's already coming.
Right?
Careful what you wish for.
Right. Careful what you wish for.
Charlie.
But man, she is so good. And then, of course, by the end, she has realized, no, this is a pretty good life here. Right? This is lovely here.
Yeah. I love that it's in Santa Rosa. I love the town. It's so quaint and small, and everything's kind of so perfect, and then it isn't. But the family is so kooky. Like the mother, played by Patricia Collins, I love her. She played Birdie in The Little Foxes. She always plays those kind of quirky characters, and she's kind of in denial, American housewife.
And Henry Travers is the father, again, always quirky and odd, and that great relationship that he has
with Hume
Cronin, right?
That mystery game they play that doesn't really solve anything.
The best way to commit a murder. I know. Hit him on the head with a blunt instrument.
And you think they're going to solve it, right? This thing happens.
You think because that's
It's set up for these guys to solve it.
Absolutely, and that's what I meant, and they never solve it.
You're right. They're totally clueless.
It's just kind of there.
It's just it's only for our amusement.
Like I said before, it's Hitchcock's favorite movie. It's not flashy. It's kind of quietly moves along, even though you know what's going on right from the beginning because you know Joseph Cotten is the murderer. And you see it coming too. You see when she finds out, little Charlie, that it's gonna crush her. And it's basically about her learning about
life.
And the world and how evil exists and
appreciating what she had, because right at the beginning, she's like, this town sucks, my life sucks, it's boring, it's awful. And then, she's clearly gonna settle down with Donald Carey at the end and, and have a bunch of kids and live in Santa Rosa.
That's right, because there's no place like home.
There's no place like home.
And there are murderers everywhere, so why should you leave?
Yeah, it is, right, it is, it's basically, here's a family, we're gonna insert violence into their story and then take it away. That's it. That's all that's gonna happen. That's the entire movie.
And the ending where, they're struggling, he's going to kill her. He's going to kill his niece. That's how sick he is. Killing a stranger is a horrible thing. Killing your niece because she knows it and you think she's going to tell, and she's kind of not, she didn't say anything to anybody until after he was thrown from the train. And
then they give him this nice funeral. Like they're not going to tell the story.
No,
and I get, maybe that's 1943 sensibility, but the one big note I wrote was, the truth needs to be known.
And it never does.
Right.
It never comes out. She doesn't say it. And they do give this funeral. And they are allowed to stay in the denial of their quaint little town.
All right. Great stuff. Thank you, Mario.
Excellent.
We're moving on. And our next film comes from a director who loved Hitchcock as much as any other filmmaker.
Brian De Palma. I love him. We love doing our Hitchcock De Palma nights.
Hitchcock De Palma, it's a good night. These are good nights.
It's a good night.
Our second film on night one. We'll have 5 nights together, Creepy Cinema, this October.
5 nights with you. That is a fantasy I've had for 25 years. So I feel like people will think that that makes me uncomfortable. It does not make me uncomfortable. I know it doesn't.
It just amuses. I just can't believe sometimes the things that come out of your mouth.
Because I am so comfortable with you. I was comfortable with you from the get-go when we met on the Twitter, when we both had our blue check marks. But now we don't. Instead, we wear blue. Look, he looks like a check mark. Anyway, yes, okay, so this movie, Dressed to Kill, by Brian De Palma.
Yeah, so first of all, we just had Hitchcock, Shadow of a Doubt, and we followed up with a De Palma film.
Last year we did Obsession. And we did Rope, and the year before that we did Blowout and Psycho. Right. And I'm gonna tell you something, I've been waiting for this film, Dressed to Kill, which, my 2 favorites, Blowout, Dressed to Kill. I love this film so much. This film is so beautifully done, its style, it puts De Palma on the map. And yes, he takes from Hitchcock. Of course he does. You only steal from the best. And this is really kind of not a semi-remake of Psycho, but there's so many things in it that are Psycho-esque.
Yeah, that's right. And so many of his films borrow from Psycho, borrow from Rear Window, borrow from Vertigo. And again, it's not, De Palma's not trying to hide it.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
And he talks about how much he loves Hitchcock. And at that point in the late 70s and in the early 80s, we needed a filmmaker like this. It's like when you see, I know you relate to this, when you see a Bob Fosse move in choreography, you know it's Fosse because it's a style. I know you relate to that. Do the jazz hands. But this is the same thing. You know it's De Palma, and it's still stylized differently from what Hitchcock used to do, I think. But it's plot points and subject matters that he deals with that are similar.
This is from 1980, and to the point you just made, a great critic, one of the great critics of his era, David Denby, referred to this film, Dressed to Kill, as the first great American movie of the decade.
Yep, and I think he was absolutely right.
And you mentioned Blowout also, Nancy Allen from Blowout, she's back here.
Nancy Allen, for me, is one of my favorites. She plays a prostitute in this, and she also played a prostitute in Blowout. And they're 2 completely different characters. Her work is exceptional, and she's just stunning.
We can't finish an introduction with Dressed to Kill without mentioning. Well, first of all, Michael Caine.
Michael Caine's magnificent.
But he's got a co-star in this movie, and it is the great Angie Dickinson.
Oh, Angie Dickinson. This is one of her best roles.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
She's so subtle and good, and there's so much going on in her eyes.
Her best scenes are not even scenes where she's speaking, right? It's just the way she looks.
Observing, thinking.
Reacting.
Yep.
A lot of reacting.
Because acting is
yes.
reacting.
Is it?
That's right.
Is it?
Ask Stella Adler. Well, she's dead now, but you could ask her. Read a book.
We should, I think, before we show the movie, let people know that this is a very sexy film.
It's a very sexy. I agree.
And has much more nudity.
Yes.
And I would even say sexual nudity.
Yep.
Than we usually see in a movie, and certainly than we usually see on TCM. Just a little heads up for people.
Yeah, true. But
I'm not telling them to run. I'm just telling you.
Don't run. You're going to miss a great movie if you run. And also, there's two different versions of this movie. It's the same movie, but there's a little extra footage in the kind of not X-rated version of it, but it's
some stuff has been put back in that was taken out, and that's the version that I believe we're about to see.
I would expect nothing less from the Turner Classic Movies. And that score by Pino Donaggio. That's incredible. And this movie is just it's so sexy too, like you said, and it's so dark and disturbing, and I love this film. It's one of my favorites ever. I had the poster on my wall.
I think for me that it might, because I don't know when I'd last seen it. And first of all, I believe my parents, an enormous mistake, allowed me to see it when it came out. I would have been 13.
Oh, well.
And I mean, that Angie scene, and I mean, I don't mean the death scene, which was obviously imprinted and it's unforgettable. But the first scene where she's intimate with her husband.
Yes.
I mean, and I remember that line, that she says to Caine. I remembered it all my life. He gave me one of his Wham Bam
specials, and I'm mad at him.
Right.
Yeah.
And I always remembered that.
Of
right.
course. And
like it felt humiliating to me, even though at that as a little boy. Like it really made a dent, and I just being so drawn to Angie from that moment.
Beautiful, and the backside of her in the shower at the beginning is her, and then the close-ups are a particular playmate of the year. But she still looks beautiful. She kind of just allows herself to be free in that. And her performance, it's one of her best performances. She's so smart in this. That scene in the museum.
Oh, the museum with the cat and mouse, the pursuit.
Like 10 minutes of no dialogue, and it's so brilliantly done. And just the way she's observing people, a young couple and a mother yelling at her child, and then she's writing down, nuts.
Right.
Which I love.
Right.
Of all things, nuts.
But the end of the film, because I'd forgotten, again, I'd totally forgotten. So I believe that he has escaped and he's watching her in the shower. So how much is this like Psycho? I mean, aside from the leading lady is gone a little over 30 minutes into the movie, just like Janet Leigh.
Just like Janet Leigh.
There are two shower scenes in this movie. There's a shower scene at the beginning, there's a shower scene at the end. But the end, when Nancy Allen is in the shower, and I'm buying it. I'm like, oh, he escaped, right? And so when she wakes up from that dream, waking up from a terrible dream in a movie, we've all seen it hundreds of times. I believe this is the best one. Because she wakes up from that dream and I'm like, oh.
Yes.
Oh, right.
And
it's
you
a dream.
don't know if it's a dream or not because De Palma is so stylized as a
well,
you
know it's a dream, but you don't know when does the dream start? Did he escape?
Yep.
Right.
And then she wakes up. And it's interesting. Carrie ends with the dream also.
Right.
Amy,
So
Amy Irving, it's the same thing. Amy Irving is dreaming about, going to put flowers on the burnt house, and the hand comes up and grabs her and she wakes up. And then this one ends with the dream also, where she's actually not been killed. And then Blowout, she's actually killed.
That's right. Obviously, there has been some pushback. There was pushback when it came out.
Yes.
Among trans supporters and activists, and totally understandable, because here it gives you a trans character and suggests, because it's the only trans character in the movie, that they're violent. De Palma totally acknowledges that now, says the movie would be totally different now.
Look, as a plot point, when someone is repressed, deeply, deeply repressed, that's usually used as a vehicle of them being a murderer. How many repressed homosexuals are the murderer? In Cruising,
right.
in Looking for Mr. Goodbar. I feel like he happened to use this transgender as that plot point. And back then, transsexuality was, which we called it in my younger years, it was really being talked
Emerging.
about on talk shows. And there's that scene where he's looking at a very well-adjusted
Nancy Hunt. It's a woman named Nancy
Yep.
Hunt appearing on Donahue, and De Palma saw that clip on Donahue, and that's what put the idea into his head to
and
make
Nancy
Dress to
Hunt
Kill.
was not, was a
No, Nancy
well-adjusted,
Hunt's
dealing with it, talking about it, getting it out there. So I found that interesting that she was speaking about it in a very healthy, informative way. And there was Michael Caine, who was all messed up about it. But I also think it's about a split personality.
That's right. Yeah.
Just as much, which is
Right.
which is the thing that causes
It just
it.
happens to be his split. So
I agree.
Mario and I are done for tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank
This was
you
great.
so much. This was really wonderful. Thank you for allowing me to finally get this movie in.
Next
all
week.
to see. What are we doing next week?
Just take a breath and let me speak. We're trying to finish.
Okay.
Next week, a double feature, Robert Mitchum, evil Bob Mitchum.
I knew that because I picked him.
So thanks, Mario and I will be back next week with Cape Fear and Night of the Hunter. Good stuff.